In today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to apply for a spouse open work permit inside Canada. Without wasting time, let's quickly dive in. So the first thing you do on your web browser is you type in cic.gc.ca or canada.ca, and then you're going to choose English or French, depending on what works for you. And then once that opens up, you go straight to where it says work. Click on that, then where it says get a work permit, and then we are doing application for temporary workers. You click on that, and then here it says apply for a work permit. Once you click on that, we go down here where it says number 3, how to apply. We choose that, and then on here it says where are you applying from. So here I'm going to choose inside of Canada. I've already made a video on how to apply for the spouse open work permit outside Canada. You will find that video in the description area below if that's exactly the one you're looking out for. But this one is how to apply for a spouse open work permit inside Canada. So we choose that. Then it's going to ask you, do any of these situations describe you? So right here we have, you can apply from inside Canada if one of these applies to you. Your spouse, common law partner, or parent has a valid study or work permit, right? So you can take the time to read this through and choose what fits you. But for this demo, I'm going to choose this one, which says your spouse, common law partner, or parent has a valid study or work permit. So to answer that question, does any of these situations describe you? I'm going to say yes. Then it's going to tell you apply online from inside Canada. So it's just going to show you the step by step on what to do. I'm just going to scroll all the way down where it says create an account or sign in, and then you click on that. Once that opens up, it brings you to this page where if you do not have an account, you are just going to click here to register, follow the prompt to create an account. But if you already have a GC.gc account, all you have to do is you're going to click here, sign in, or you sign in with the sign-in partner. So for this demo, we are going to sign in with the GC.gc. So after you sign in, you are just going to go through some security questions. That's just to help secure your account. And then you're going to apply, it's going to bring you to this page where you're going to see view the applications you've submitted, meaning if you have an application that you've already submitted, it's going to show over here. And here it says continue an application you haven't submitted, meaning for this application we're going to start at some point. If you stop, you can sign back in, and you're going to see around this area, you're going to see where it says continue application, and that's what you're going to click to continue your application. But because we don't have anything going on right now, you are just going to choose apply to come to Canada. Once you click on that, scroll down where it says determine your eligibility and apply online. Then we're going to choose visitor visa, study, and our work permit. So we click on that. Then it's going to ask you questions. Again, remember, this is an application for spouse open work permit inside Canada. So our answering these questions is going to go via the process of someone who is in Canada. What would you like to do in Canada? I'm going to say work. How long are you planning to stay in Canada? Temporarily more than 6 months. Select the code that matches the one on your passport. For this demo, we're going to use Ghana. What is your current country/territory of residence? If you are presently in Canada, you should select Canada. So we're going to choose Canada. Okay, Canada is right there. Do you have a family member who is a Canadian citizen or permanent resident and is 18 years or older? If you do, you choose yes. If you don't, simply choose no. So choose your date of birth. For this demo, I'm just going to use 1988, and then my month, I'm going to use any random month here, May. Okay, so for that, you put your date of birth, and then it's going to ask you, are you a lawful permanent resident of the United States with a valid US citizenship and immigration services? Okay, I didn't choose anything. You're going to say yes or no, so I'm going to say no. Next. it's going to ask you, what is your current immigration status in Canada? Sometimes these questions can be a little bit confusing. All you need to do is right here, you can just click on the arrow, then it breaks down everything down for you. A student is a person who is legally allowed. So you're going to click on that if you're confused, and then based on the explanation, you're going to choose what fits you. So for this demo, I'm going to use a visitor based on a spouse open work permit of a spouse who came to visit their loved one, and now they're trying to turn, as in that visitor visa, to a work permit because they are eligible to apply for an open work permit, right? So next, does one of the following apply to you? I'm going to skip this area because a spouse, an open work permit lets you work with any employer. So this is the one that I am going to choose, this one right here. So for this first question, I'm going to say no. Are you a spouse, common law partner, or dependent child of a person who holds a work permit for a job in National Occupation Classification 0A, B, and all the rest of them? You can take time and read this good information and see what fits you. So I'm going to choose yes, because it's for someone who has a National Occupation Classification in any of these job categories, right? And then, are you a spouse called dependent child of who? For this one, it could be you. If that's where you fall under, you choose that. So for this one, I'm going to choose no. Next, are you applying under the Canada-USA-Mexico agreement or under a public policy related to work permits? I'm going to say no. Next, what is your marital status? I'm going to say married. There are options here. Widowed, never married, common law. So if you're common law, then that's the sense. So this is spouse or common law open work permit, right? So for this demo, I'm going to choose married. What is your destination of province? If visiting, so I'm going to choose Alberta. Next. So now it says you may be eligible to work in Canada with an open work permit. So the next thing I'm going to do now is hit on continue. So it's telling me they're going to ask me, we're going to ask you a few more questions. Based on your answers, we'll provide you with a personal checklist of all the documents you need to submit with your application. So just remember that based on the way you answer this personal or this eligibility questions, your checklist or your personal checklist of the documents you're going to provide might be different for other people, right? And that's okay. So you just have to answer the questions the way it fits you. So you click on continue. Are you accompanying a family member who has status in Canada? Sometimes, again, this can be confusing. It says accompanying a family member means you'll be staying with a family member who is already in Canada as a visitor, worker, or student. So, and that's exactly what fits this application, this demo application. So I'm going to say yes. Next. Oh, lest I forget. So once you're working on this application, so also ensure that you look at this new public policy that came out for open work permits and see what fits you. So I've been messing around with it. So this is like spouse or common law partners of study permit holders. So for each one, you're trying to figure out if you have a study permit, if you are able to, if your spouse is able to get an open work permit. So do take the time to take a look at this information here. I'll leave it in the description area of this video. So depending on where you fit in, if it's a study permit, work permit, whatever you fit in, you can take a look and see if your spouse is eligible for an open work permit, right? So when does your status in Canada expire? So for this one, I am going to say, let me find something, 2020. Okay, 2022. Okay. May 05. Next. This is just that was a made up number, so you're going to put the exact, the right information for yours. Have you had a medical exam performed by an IRCC authorized panel physician within the last 12 months? For this one, I'm going to choose yes, reason being, if you came into the country based on a study permit as a visitor, maybe by chance you did go through an authorized physician and did a medical, but if you did not, you can simply choose no, but I'm going to say yes. Next. Do you want to submit an application for a family member? So I'm going to choose no, but let's say you, let's say you're on a work permit and you fall under that classification of A, NOC 0A and B, and you're trying to apply also an open work permit for your spouse, then here you are just going to choose yes and use your personal GC account to also apply for your spouse to get their own open work permit. Also in the description area of this video, I'm going to leave a simple 3 minutes video I made on a question: can I use my personal GC account to apply for my spouse? I did answer this question and what you can do. So go back, you check the description area of this video, you'll see the link to that video, and it's going to help you with this particular format if that's exactly the route you're going. But for this demo, we're going to say no. Next. Are you giving someone access to your application? I'm going to say no. Next. In the past 10 years, have you given your fingerprint and photo biometrics for an application to come to Canada? Again, I'm going to say yes, because if you're already in Canada, that means by chance at some point you did give your fingerprints to get into Canada. Next. There are fees associated with this application. Will you be paying your fees, or are you fees exempt? I said I'm going to be paying my fees. Next. Are you able to make digital copy of your documents with a scanner or camera? I'm going to say yes, I can. Will you be paying your application fees online? You're going to need a credit card and all this good information here. I'm going to say yes. Next. So now you have the chance to review your answers. So take the time to see all the answers you've provided. And if there is anything you feel like you need to change around, on this arrow, you can click on that and then it takes you to that point and you edit all this information here. You do the same for this one up until the end. But if you are not really satisfied with everything that you put in and you just want to start all over again, you go here where it says start again. So let's just presume that we've reviewed every information and everything looks good with your scored word. Continue. And then it tells you the first step way, which is use your account, save your application, upload your documents, and pay your fees. Then it's just going to give you good information on the things to look out for. You can take the time when you get to this point to read and understand the formats that you need. So we're just going to click continue. So now my document checklist. So and to the best way to download this is you click on this button, it opens in a new link or a new window rather, and then you just click on this arrow. So as you can see on my screen, this is IMM 5710E, application to change conditions, extend my stay or remain in Canada as a worker. So let's quickly start off. So for the number one, UCI, if you are already in Canada, depending on how you came in with a work permit, a study permit, or your visitor visa, you might have a UCI number, so you can check that document. If you see that, you're going to put that information there, but if you don't, then you can leave it blank, right? Then you're going to choose how you want service. You can choose English or French. For number three, it says I'm applying for one or more of the following. So you can apply for a work permit for the first time or with a new employer. So let's say you came in with a visitor visa, or you came in with a study permit. So definitely you're going to be applying for a work permit for the first time. And if you already came in with a work permit and you're trying to like extend your work permit, then it's definitely going to be apply for a work permit with the same employer. Again, this is a spouse open work permit, and it's specifically for people who are coming into Canada based on the fact that their loved one is on a study permit or a visitor or a work permit, right? And that gives them the eligibility to apply for an open work permit. So once you choose that, on the personal details, you're going to provide your full name, a last name first or family name and then your given name. If you have a different name, you're going to give that information here. Choose yes, provide that information below here. Choose your gender, your date of birth, where you were born, country or territory where you were born, and then if you're a citizen of that country. For number 7, current country or territory of residence. So for this one right here, specifically if you are in Canada, that means your current country of residence is going to be Canada. So you're going to indicate Canada because this is application inside Canada. And then your status, you're going to choose if you're a citizen, permanent resident, visitor, worker, student, whatever works for you. So for this demo, we're using visitor. You're going to indicate when you came in and when your visitor permit is expiring. So number 8 is going to ask you previous countries or territories of residence. During the past 5 years, have you lived in any country or territory other than your country of citizenship or your current country or territory of residence for more than 6 months? So if you indicate yes, you're going to provide that information below. If no, it's going to you're going to check off no and then move over to number 9. So number 9, you're going to indicate, again, because it's spouse open work permit, so it could be common law or you guys are married. You choose what fits you, provide the date of that common law partnership or that marriage, and then here you're going to provide the name. It says here, provide the name of your current spouse or common law partner. You're going to provide their name here. The number on D, 9D is going to ask you if you are married or in a common law relationship. Is your spouse or common law partner a Canadian citizen or permanent resident? You're going to indicate that. For this demo, I said no, based on the application process, that this is a spouse a family member who is in Canada with a study permit or a work permit, and their spouse is applying for an open work permit, right? So now we're going to move on to number 10. Yeah, so we're going to move on to number 10, personal details. Have you previously been married or in a common law relationship? If it's a yes, indicate yes, provide the details below. If no, just indicate no. Then languages, you're going to provide your native language here. You can use the drop-down menu to choose what fits you. Are you able to communicate in English or French? If you can communicate in both, you choose both, either French or English. You choose what fits you. Provide your passport number here, a country or territory of issue, when it was issued, and the expiry date. You do the same for the national identity document. If you have one, just check off yes, provide the details below. If not, just indicate no and move on to USPR card. So again, if you have one, indicate yes. If no, indicate no, and then move on to contact information. So on here, it says here, all correspondence will go to the address, to go to this address unless you indicate your email address below, right? So you're going to provide your current mailing address, street number, street name, city, country, province, postal code, and then indicate your phone number here and the email on how they are going to reach you right here on number 6. Once you provide all that good information, you're going to provide the date and place of your original entry into Canada, where it was, the reason you came into Canada. There is a drop-down menu here so you can choose what fits you. So for this demo, we are using family visit. Then you're going to provide your document number. It says, if applicable, provide the document number of the most recent visitor record, study permit, work permit, or temporary resident permit issued to you. So you can check that document that you have, your study permit, your work permit, or your visitor visa record, and get that information. Again, this is just a demo number. It's not going to look exactly like this, but similar, and that's the information you're going to put right here. So here it's a place I would want you guys to pay attention to: details of intended work in Canada. So in the drop-down menu, you do have options, but what we are applying for is a spouse open work permit. So open work permit lets you work for any employer in Canada. And as you can see on number 2, it says details of my prospective employer. So you do not need to put any information here because it says name of employer, address of employer. This is for specific work permit. If you have a specific employer that you are working for, this is where you are going to provide that details. But an open work permit, you just put this information here and you leave number 2 to number 5. You leave it blank. Do not put any information there. Right? So we are going to go to number 8. So for number 8, it's going to ask you, have you been issued a certificate under the Provincial Nominee Program? I'm going to say no. And then here for education, you're going to provide details of your education, right? When you started, when you finished, field of study, your city, school/facility name, country, or territory, and then you do the same for your employment. So for employment, it says give details of your employment for the past 10 years. So if you've been working for the same employer, you can just indicate getting that 10 years. For this, they might use 2010 to 2021. Current activity and occupation, this city, company name, and the country. But if you have more than one job for that time frame of 10 years, as you can see here, it says employment continued. So you can add all this extra information here. So let's say you've worked for 2 or 3 employers for 2 years or 3 years at interval. You have that opportunity to put one information here, another one here, and another one here, right? So, and then all you have to do again now is you get to background information. Take the time to read this and answer the questions. It's going to be a yes or no answer. The one that I wanted to show you guys is this one right here, where it says, have you previously applied to enter or remain in Canada? So because you're making this application inside of Canada, that means you either came in with a study permit, a work permit, or a visitor visa. So as the demo I have here, I said I applied for a visitor visa and was granted entry into Canada on the 15th of December 2021. So you're going to choose what fits your current situation, and you go all the way down and finish the rest of them by answering yes or no. And then once you get to this point, you're going to consent to be contacted by IRCC, yes or no. Put the date when you filled out the application. So for the signature of applicant, you can either leave it blank or just put your last name and initial. I would explain why you can leave it blank, because once you go here and you're done this whole application and you validate, so it's going to tell you here, it says validation completed successfully. Then here it says if you are applying on paper, you're going to print and sign. But if you are applying online, which is what we are doing, it says if you're applying online, you do not need to sign your application form by hand. You will be asked to provide an electronic signature once you're ready to transmit your documents to CIC, right? So that's all you need to do. You see, it's been validated. And once you do that, all you have to do is what? You save this application in your computer and go back to your application process on the one you started on your personal GC key account. Upload this application to change conditions, extend your stay or remain in Canada, and all other supporting documents, and then transmit and pay. And then that means your application is in to be considered, right? So based on the way I answered these eligibility questions, it's telling me that I'm going to fill out this information, and then I'm going to get supporting documents, my passport, digital photo, proof of upfront medical exam, marriage license / certificate, family member proof of status. Then sometimes some of these supporting documents can be confusing. That's why you have this question mark here. So if you're a little bit confused, you click on it, then it tells you what exactly that you need to provide. You can do the same for every one of them. It gives you a detailed information on what you need to do here. So if you get to this point and you're worried or you're confused, do not worry. Click on this button and you're good to go. So just to get this application as in sorted out, I'm going to pause here so I can upload all the necessary documents and then get back to this application and finish up. To upload, all you need to do is you click on the button here, and then you are going to choose your file from your computer and you upload. I'll be right back. Okay, so I was able to upload all the necessary documents. So as you can see, everything is in green, meaning that I uploaded all the needed documents. But just so you guys know, this isn't really like the right documents. I use all these documents as a demo just to make sure that I show you guys how to get to the end of this application. So all you have to do again, it's do what? Upload each and every one of them and put the right information. And once you're done uploading your information, this optional document, you just leave it. And then here it says your fees, work permit 1, open work permit holder fee 1. So $155 and $100 in total, you're going to be paying $255. Then the next thing you do is what? On here, you're going to click next. And then here, your declaration and electronic signature. I did mention in when I was filling out the spouse open work permit application form that once you're done filling out that application form, you can leave it blank because you're going to be providing your electronic signature here. So once you upload that document of the completed application form, don't worry about it even if you don't sign it, because you're going to sign it with your electronic signature here. So here you're just going to have the time to look at your document and then review every information. Then scroll all the way down, declaration of applicant, you're going to click I agree. Then here, you're going to provide your name. So for this demo, I believe I used this here. That's the name I used. So you provide that information. And then security question, you're going to answer the security question just to make sure that you safeguard your account. So once you get to the next phase now, again, this is a required document checklist. It gives you like a final breakdown of everything. So just review, notice regarding personal information. You can take time to read all of this. Declaration of applicant, read all of that. Then you're going to go down here where it says transmit and pay. You click on that. And then it gives you a breakdown of how much you're going to pay, which is 255 Canadian dollars. Transmit and pay. Then as usual, you're going to put your card holder's name, card number, expiring date, and the number on the back to help with the payment. And then you check out. And this is how to apply for the spouse open work permit inside of Canada. If you do have any questions, leave it in the description area of this video and I'll attend to it. Thank you guys for watching, and bye for now.